I'm happy to be here at St. Andrew, not just as their ELA teacher, but as the person that they see as an example, a person of color that looks like them, that can talk like them, that can sometimes act like them, but also be that stern example. My name is Tameka Hanford. I'm a teacher here at St. Andrew Catholic School. I've been teaching here for 5 years. I actually started in second grade. So my sixth grade students were my second and third grade students here at St. Andrew. I come from a family of teachers. My mother was a teacher. My two aunts are teachers. I have a cousin who is a principal, an assistant principal in Polk County. People will say that teaching is in me, and this is true. Teaching is definitely in me, but I also say teaching chose me. I ran from teaching for years. I was in retail once I graduated from college. I was a juvenile probation officer with the Department of Juvenile Justice, and people kept saying, "Oh, Tameka, you should go into teaching." And I was like, absolutely not. It caught up with me. A friend kept saying, "Tameka, come over here to this school. We need you over here." And I had actually been asking God to give me a change, and it came exactly when I asked for it. Matter of fact, I asked for it in September of 2017, and a week later, September 17th, I was teaching at an alternative school. So I've been doing this for a while. It flows through me, but I would have to honestly say that teaching chose me. Being a teacher is probably one of the biggest accomplishments that I have done this far. Seeing my kids grow, seeing my kids say, "Thank you, Miss Hanford," I'm appreciative of that. Now they will tell you, Miss Hanford does not play, and I do not, because my expectations for my children is to be the best that they can be. So I'm in love with the fact that I'm able to be this person for them. I'm in love with the fact that I have a black principal. I have other people that they can actually look at. We have other teachers here too who are not teachers of color, but they are still pouring into our children on how important their heritage is. So whether they are from Jamaica, whether they're from Haiti, whether they're from the Dominican Republic, their heritage is still important, and I hope that we are letting them know that. I hope they know that. That's what I hope for my kids. I hope that my kids know that we know and that we love them, and that we know that they are important to us. Teaching ELA is important because it has so many aspects to it. You cannot do math if you cannot read. You can't do science if you can't read. Everything comes back to my class, so I think that's why my class is so important. I think that teaching ELA is probably one of the best subjects because reading is everywhere. Writing is everywhere. You can't do anything without reading. So teaching kids about freedom walkers, letting my kids read books like The Hate U Give, letting them read A Wrinkle in Time, that all comes back to ELA. Moving on with the students that I have, my goal is for them to see themselves in the books that they have. My sixth graders were reading Freedom Walkers in reference to the Montgomery boycotts. I want them to not only see the people in 1950, I want them to see themselves in the book and see themselves now. My children are highly aware what's going on around them, but they also understand certain types of behaviors didn't just start today. They've been going on for years. So for them to read books like The Hate U Give, to read books like Freedom Walkers, is an absolute example of where we were and where we are now. And as an example, as not just as an ELA teacher, I want to be an example for them to let them know being a boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Being a boy or girl is so important. You are just as important as anyone else. The color of your skin, your eyes, the way you walk and talk, that is important, and it's not only important to me, it should be important to you. That's what I like that's why I like being here. That's the biggest part of being here at St. Andrew, that I am able to be with children who look like me, and I can be an example for them. And I've had kids, if you come in my class, I've had kids do paintings of people that look like them. We got Daisy Bates. We have I've had pictures of children who've done Marcus Garvey. They know who they are because of the things that I have given them. They know who they are because of other teachers here, because it's not just me, because I don't do this by myself. Our science teacher, she's teaching them about amazing black scientists. We had Miss Mesa, who just joined us actually. She's teaching the kids about music and art and all types of things in their world that they may not necessarily get outside of these walls. So I'm happy to be here at St. Andrew, not just as their ELA teacher, but as the person that they see as an example. As a woman of color, Black history, in my mind, and what I try to get my students to understand, Black history is not just in the month of February. We were given a week, and now we were given a month. I wouldn't say, and I've had conversations that it was maliciously given to us because it was the shortest month of the year. But in your mind, what I try to get my kids to understand, to expand your horizons, Black History Month is 365 days of the year. It's not just one day or 1 month or 1 week. There are so many people who have contributed to Black history. We as a people have contributed. We're artists, we're musicians, we're scientists, we're lawyers, we're doctors, we're entrepreneurs. We're so many things other than just 1 month. And it's great that we are able to celebrate and recognize, and I think that's the main word to use. We are being recognized during the month of February, but what I want my kids to understand, you as an individual should be recognized on a daily basis. The curriculum is important too. Our curriculum that we have for 6th grade is Journeys. Freedom Walkers is a part of the curriculum. How exciting is that? So not only do I have it, and I can use other books, which I definitely do, and it's so important for our kids to see themselves in a book. It's important for them to see people who look like them. It is important for them to get familiarized with characters that look like them, that have hair like them, that have cheekbones like them, that have arms like them, long legs like them. It is so important for our kids to have that type of literature, and I'm just happy that the school has provided that type of literature for me actually to step on. So I'm excited that we are given the opportunity as educators to do so many different things with our students, to actually talk about Black history, to talk about Hispanic history, to talk about Philippine history. We are people from the Philippines. We're excited to do that every single day. So that's why I say Black history is 365 days of the year. It's just not in the month of February. We are educators, and we have a responsibility to be the best people that we can be, because we're trying to create best people for our society, because they're gonna take care of us at one point. So it's our responsibility to give them the knowledge and to give them the foundation. Someone gave it to me, not just my mother. I got it from church. Every summer we were given the opportunity to travel. Every summer we were taken to plantations. We were taken to the actual place where Martin Luther King walked. We went to Selma. We went to all those places. So someone gave it to me. So I feel it's my responsibility to give it to the student. Frederick Douglass, he was awakened. He was so upset he was upset that he was a slave, and he knew that life was better. And we talked about the master's mistress, and how she taught him how to read, but the master treated him so bad. and he told his wife that she had to stop teaching him how to read. And I said, you see how when someone stops you from doing something, you have to keep pushing yourself. And Frederick Douglass, he kept pushing himself to read, to educate himself, and he freed himself mentally. And that's what I try to get my students to understand. He freed himself. He would actually go and get breadcrumbs and give it to the white boys, because the poor white kids would help him learn how to read. And he knew that one thing they had in common: they were white. Even though they were white, they were poor. So even they were looked down on during that time. But they wouldn't even let anyone know that they were teaching a slave how to read, because they didn't want to be ridiculed. But he didn't care. He kept pushing. Then we have a man. Then this is the same man who became one of the best orators that we know. Frederick Douglass is the prime example. We were even having a discussion yesterday. Frederick Douglass even became a friend of Abraham Lincoln. This man was powerful. He was powerful because of what was in his mind. And he knew, all I have to do is get a book. That's why I try to get my kids to understand, if you would just read, the pages will do the work for you. All you have to do is read, and it's right there. While we're studying Black history, I do find it important to explain to my kids how some parts of history can be whitewashed. In reference to Lincoln, I think the message that they have always been given is that Lincoln just freed the slaves. He was just in love with, Black people. Slaves went to the North because they knew that they would be free in the North. They understood that, and they would flee knowing that they were under the pressure of possibly getting caught. And then here comes Lincoln. I do believe that on his political stands, he knew he had to get certain people on his side to, in my opinion, to get what he wanted. I don't think it was like he was just in love with African Americans and he just wanted Black people to just be free. What I've tried to explain in so many words to my students is that even in politics, people tell you what you want to hear so they can get what they want. And in my opinion, as far as, Lincoln just loved Black people, I can't sit here and tell my kids that. I have to give them the truth. He had a political stance. He knew what he needed to do. He knew that in the South, slavery technically was not needed, because you got this is when the age of the machinery was coming along. You don't need people to go out into fields and pick cotton anymore. I can get a machine to do that. And they knew that. So I don't think that you can't sit here and tell a Black child that, he just loved Black people so much and it was such a great thing. It was more of, I knew what I had to do to get votes. So when it comes to whitewashing, when it comes to Lincoln, it's more of, yes, he may have been a great speaker. Yes, he may have he was a great-hearted person. I don't discredit that, but I can't tell my students that he was in love with African Americans and then he wanted them to all be free. Because remember, even after so many years, a lot of slaves didn't even know they were free. So it was just more of a political stance for him. In reference to Jim Crow, my students, again, they're reading Freedom Walkers. Jim Crow, laws, actual law, where Blacks and whites couldn't even sit together on the bus. In reference to the Montgomery bus boycott, a Black person couldn't even walk by a white person. If a Black person was walking on the sidewalk, they would have to get off the sidewalk. They couldn't even touch hands. It's a system, and I try to get my kids to understand that. And just because Jim Crow doesn't necessarily exist now, it does exist. It still exists. We're talking about, you're still incarcerating Black men. You're still doing whatever you can to keep certain people in a box. You're keeping certain people in certain types of neighborhoods. You're keeping certain people from health care. You can't just tell my kids that Black history is just one thing and just tell them just all the good things that people did. There are ugly sides to it too. And I can't just tell them that, okay, well, 1950, Jim Crow existed and then it just ended. No, it's still here today. People are still treated unfairly based on the color of their skin. That's just what it is. I mean, no pun intended, it's black and white. It's right there. So when I'm talking to my students in conversation, I want them to understand that, yes, this is your history, but I also want you to understand where it's coming from. Black people were given the right to vote, but then you had people such as the KKK who came along and basically terrorized people, hung black people for trying to vote. You put all these laws in place to keep them. You ask them questions that you know they can't answer, and then every time they go, it's always something. It's always a barrier. And this is why it is important for us to continue to study, because what I want my kids to understand, even with the barriers of politics, even with the barriers of Jim Crow, even with the barriers of the Ku Klux Klan, my people are still able to achieve. My kids know about Rosa Parks, and that's all they know when it comes to the bus boycott. Even that's kind of washed out too, because on TV that's all you see. But there were so many other people that were arrested before her. There were so many other people who were sitting in their correct section during Jim Crow, and they refused to get up because they knew their constitutional rights. So you can't just say, okay, well, it's just Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, and go home. No, they need to know from beginning to end. National Catholic Black History Month, even though that's in November, again, it's still 365 days of the year. Our kids see Black history every day. So it's important for us to emphasize not the people that we teach them in our textbooks, or the people that we know from our own history. We have to make sure that they know too that their Black history is right here at St. Andrew. I understand that you are treated unfairly based on the color of your skin. I totally understand that. However, how can you be a productive citizen? What can you do to make things better? How can you educate yourself? Let's open up a book. Let's remember we read about this. So I can do a project, we can do posters, we can do everything. We can have all types of Black history programs, but at the end of the day, it's still what we're doing in these classrooms on a daily basis. And to teach them who they are as children of color.